All right, so today we're in 8.3, and we will be working on multiplying polynomials, right? So chapter 8, let's try that 8 again. That's a horrible 8. 8.3, and we will multiply polynomials. There we go. So the problem that we have up there, the 3x times the 4x minus 5. Yes, sir?
Didn't we just do this yesterday?
We did. So the problems that we did yesterday look exactly like the one we have up there, right? And what we did yesterday, of course, was to take this problem, and what do we call this? What do we do here? What's this process called? Yeah. Distribute, right? We are distributing. So the process that we're about to do with this is distribute. Distribute, right? So we're going to take the 3x and multiply it times the 4x. And when we do that, we get 12x squared. And we take the 3x times the negative 5, and we get negative 15x. We look for like terms, there are none, and then we're done. Right? Yes, sir?
We just did this yesterday.
Yes, Jake. You may have heard me say that, in fact, this is what we did yesterday. I am reviewing it, naming it, so that it's fresh in your head as we move on. Okay, so from here, we're going to play with problems like this. Now, who can tell me what they think needs to happen with this problem based on what we just did? Anyone have a thought? Jake?
Distribute the 2x plus 3 to the x plus 5.
I will. But I'm not going to call it just distribute. Yep.
It's going to like multiply 2x times x and 3 times the 5.
I will multiply 2x times x, and I will multiply 3 times 5. But that's not all. I'm going to call this double distribute. Because I'm not distributing just once, I'm distributing twice. Okay, so I will be taking this 2x here, and I will be multiplying the 2x times x to get what? 2x squared. And I will take the 2x also times the 5 to get 10x, a positive 10x. Right, so that's distributing once. Then I will also take the 3, and I will distribute it as well. So I'll take the 3 times the x to get 3x, and I'll take the 3 times the 5 to get 15. Okay, now, am I finished?
No.
No, why not?
Like terms.
I have some like terms.
Like terms for life.
What are my like terms?
10x and 3x.
Very good. So I'm going to take this 10x and that 3x and put them together. And that leaves me with my final answer of 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. Make sense? So this is what I will typically call double distribute. Double distribute. All right. So far, so good? All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one. Same deal, right? I'm still going to start by taking the first term, the 6x, and multiplying it times everything in the second set of parentheses. So I will take the 6x times the 2x to get 12x squared. I will, oh sorry, not squared, cubed, thank you. I will take the 6x times the negative 3x to get negative 18x. I will take the 6x times the negative 5 to get negative 30x.
Negative 18x squared.
Thank you. Glad you guys are paying attention. It would help if I paid attention.
Isn't that the copy supposed to help you obtain attention?
So, here we go. From here, I will also take the 5. And I will do the same process. I'll take the 5 times the 2x to get positive 10x squared. I'll take the 5 times the negative 3x to get negative 15x. And I will take the 5 times the negative 5 to get negative 25. Very good. Now again, we go through and we look for
Like terms.
like terms. So the 12x cubed, does it have a like term?
No.
No. And so we wind up with the 12x cubed staying exactly the same way. Then 18x squared, like term?
Yes.
Yep, it is what?
10x squared.
10x squared, which is going to leave me with
Negative 8x squared.
negative 8x squared. And then what about the negative 30x?
Yeah.
15x.
Yep. And so that's got the negative 15x, which is going to leave me with
Negative 45.
negative 45x. And then last but not least, we have the minus 25. And so I get left with this as my answer. So far so good? Okay. Uno mas. Alright. Let's take a look at that one.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Are we ready?
No.
Yes, Jake.
These long problems is where I start to get intimidated.
Can't think of it as a long problem. You'd think of it as one problem with lots of little pieces. And you simply take each piece until it's done, and then you pick another piece and do it until it's done. Right? So the first thing that I will do is start with that 2y to the second and multiply that through. And so I'll have 2y times 3y squared to get 6y to the fourth. Then we'll do 2y squared times negative 5y to get negative 10y to the third. 2y squared times 2 will give me 4y squared. We take the middle term, which is my 3y, and we'll multiply that through. 3y times 3y squared will give me 9y to the third. 3y times negative 5y will give me negative 15y squared. 3y times 2 gets me 6y. From here, we'll be multiplying that last piece. Let's see, the negative 1. And we'll take the negative 1 times the 3y squared to get negative 3y squared. We'll take the negative 1 times the negative 5 to get a positive 5y. And 1 times 2 to get negative 2. Again, we start to look for like terms.
For life.
And so my 6y to the fourth, like terms?
No.
No. So 6y to the fourth stays. The negative 10y cubed.
Yeah.
Yep. With the 9y cubed to get me
Negative 1.
negative y to the third power. Excellent. Then the 4y squared will combine with the negative 15y squared and the negative 3y squared. So 4 minus 15 will give me
Negative 11.
negative 11. Negative 11 minus 3 will give me negative
14.
14y squared. And then my 6y will combine with the 5y to get 11y, and then we have our minus 2. Make sense? Okay, it's just a lot, right? So it's the same process every time, no matter how big, no matter how small. We take the first set of parentheses, take each thing in that set of parentheses, multiply it by whatever is in the second set of parentheses. All right, one more thing. Let's take a look at this one. Now, the reason I'm taking a look at this one again, or this type again, is because I want you to hear another method of multiplication. This is not vertical. I'm not doing vertical. I've always found the vertical multiplication of stuff like this to be a little asinine, so I'm not teaching it. If you are desperate to learn vertical multiplication, see me after school on a Friday, and I will teach it to you. But I'm not taking up time in class to do it. However, there is another method that you will hear often, especially in other classes. Or not other classes, but other schools or later classes, you'll hear sometimes this process referred to as FOIL. So, here we go. FOIL, F-O-I-L. FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, and last. And so basically what you're being asked to do then is to take the first terms in each set of parentheses and multiply those together to get 2x squared. Then to take the outer terms, that's not the highlighter, take the outer terms, the 2x and the negative 4, and multiply those together to get your negative 8x. Take your inner terms and multiply those together to get your negative 3x. And then you take your last terms, the negative 3 and the negative 4, and multiply those together to get a positive 12. And then, of course, you still have to combine any like terms that you may have, which in this case would be your two middle terms to get your final answer of 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. All right, so I don't expect you to use FOIL. I won't ever mention it again unless you ask about it. The book uses FOIL, and it's a phrase that's been around for a long time. It's how I was taught to do this multiplication. However, I like the idea of just distributing. You don't have to memorize anything. It's just every time you take whatever's in the first set of parentheses and each thing gets multiplied by everything in the other set of parentheses. So distributing is how we'll hear this. But FOIL is so prevalent that I wanted you to have heard it and seen it so that you have an idea of what it is if somebody says it. All right. So today I have as your homework page 483, numbers 1 through 11. You have a decent amount of time here in class. Let's get her done.